Hey chili heads, welcome back to Red or Green. Today we're gonna make salsa verde 3 different ways. And we're gonna change it up a little bit because it's also the beginning of chili roasting season. I got this at the fruit basket this morning. And so I'm gonna add in a little bit of New Mexican flavor to this salsa verde. We're gonna use the traditional recipe. We're also gonna add in some serranos along with the New Mexican chili, just to ensure we've got some hot salsa. Then we're gonna add in some avocado and make it a little creamier. And then we're gonna go one step further and make it sort of a crema by adding the avocado and some Greek yogurt. I'm gonna show you how to take a shortcut. If you can't find tomatillos or they're out of season, it's not in your area, you can always use this can of La Costena tomatillos. Is kind of a shortcut if you need to make this salsa really quick. All right, I think we have everything we need here, so let's get to it. We're gonna start by peeling the tomatillos. They're in this like casing, and you gotta peel that back. And I'm gonna put this into like a water bath to clean them off before we go to cast iron and cook them up a little bit. Brand, it's La Costena. And the reason I like this brand, very simple ingredients, very little preservatives. It's just tomatillos, water, salt, and a little bit of citric acid. So this is a good bread to use. Okay, so what I've done here is I've peeled about 5 or 6 green chilies. These are New Mexican patch green chilies. I only want about 5 or 6 just so that the flavor is in there, right? But not too much that it's going to overpower this and this just becomes a green chili sauce. That's not what we're looking for. Now that I have all of this ready, my tomatillos are ready. We're gonna take the tomatillos and some serranos, the onion, and we're gonna roast that up a little bit. You could also boil the tomatillos and the garlic and serranos. It just depends on what flavor you're looking for, right? If you want that more roasty flavor, which I do in this case because we've got roasted green chili. So I kind of want to keep that theme going on. But as I said, you could also boil them just until they turn opaque and they're ready to go. And the same thing with the serranos and garlic. The onion, you really don't want to boil it. Now we're ready to move on to roasting those. And then we're going to blend this all up and start with our base salsa verde. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my tomatillos to my cast iron pan. I don't want to overcrowd it because I also want to roast. I've got about half an onion here, and I just want to put some char on the onion as well as about 3 cloves of garlic. We're making this recipe just a little bit larger than I normally would because we're going to use it in 3 different ways, right? So I'm going to take that base recipe and use that for the other 2. Oh, don't forget about your serranos. Now, you could, of course, use jalapenos, which most people do, right? But I find that the serranos are a little more consistent with the heat. Sometimes you'll get jalapenos and they have no heat at all. But if you find some great jalapenos over at the fruit basket or farmer's market, or you're growing some on your own, definitely use those. This is just an easier way for me to be consistent with the heat. And I like it hot. So these are toasting up very nicely in here. And see that char? That's what you want. Just be careful. Use some tongs if you're not used to fooling around with the pan. It gets very hot. And that's another reason I'm using my cast iron, is because it holds the heat very well. And that's what I'm looking for, right? So we can get that char. I'm gonna have to pull out the garlic a little sooner. It'll take a little bit longer for the tomatillos and the onion and serranos, but the garlic toasts up pretty quickly. So you gotta watch that, pull it out sooner than all of the other vegetables. Okay, so I'm gonna start pulling off the serranos and the garlic because they're both cooking very fast. The onion is toasting up beautifully. I'm super excited. It smells so beautiful in here. I wish you could smell this. And I do hope you try this. See the char on that onion? That's what we're looking for. This is all flavor. I'm going to start pulling off my tomatillos as well. Once they're ready, they start to change color, and that's how you know when you've got that char on them like that and they start to change color, you know they're ready to go. As they sit, tomatillos are going to become softer and ready for that salsa. Okay, so now that we've got everything all roasted up, we're going to throw it all into our blender along with a little bit of lime, and we're going to blend it up. Let's just go ahead and throw our tomatillos in here along with the onion. Oh, it still smells so good. I'm going to add just a little bit of lime juice into this. It'll keep in the fridge for at least 5 days. You want to use it up fairly quickly. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm peeling the garlic cloves. I don't think I'm going to need to cut them in half because they're going to get all blended up in there. I had to cut the tops off of the serrano peppers. I don't want to blend those up. The garlic smells so good. That roasted flavor is really wonderful. For some freshness, I'm going to add a bunch of cilantro. Nice big bunch of cilantro. My serrano peppers. Ooh, they smell good. Hot. They smell hot. And then I'm going in with our New Mexico green chili. And I'm just throwing all of this in there. Oops. We're going to put a little more freshness and add in some lime. And that is a very juicy lime. All we need is half of the lime. And again, this is the base recipe. I do need a little bit of salt in here, so I'm going to put about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to start. And if I need more, I can add more. But because of the lime and the tomatillos are kind of tart anyway, I want to make sure I don't add too much salt. Okay, so now I'm going in with just about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So now let's blend this baby up and see where we're at. I'm going to start by just kind of pulsing it. All right, so now we've got our base blend. Love the color. And so let me taste it a little bit. Ooh, that is good. Ooh, that is hot. Wow, this is a great base. And we're gonna add some avocado and go on to the next phase of our salsa. Okay, so now on to salsa number 2. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a whole avocado. We're gonna use the whole thing. And you want it to be fairly soft. You don't want it to be too firm. So I'm just gonna take the avocado and put it directly in there. I'm so excited to have this. We're actually gonna have these with tacos later. We're going to blend this up again. See how the color has changed a little bit? It's become a little more creamy. We're gonna go ahead and put this into a bowl and move on to salsa number 3. Now we're on to salsa number 3. I'm gonna add in some Greek yogurt. I prefer to use Greek yogurt, but you could use sour cream here, your choice. And this is gonna take it to a whole nother creamy level. This is more like a crema, right? You can use it for tacos. It's just a different way to change up this salsa verde. Okay, so that's all blended up, and as you can see, the color has changed. It's a little brighter. And we're gonna put that into a bowl, and then we're gonna show you all of these. All right, so here we go. We have 3 different variations of this delicious salsa verde. We started off with the base sauce, right? All we did was put our roasted tomatillos, onions, garlic, serrano peppers, and a little twist up, right? We used some New Mexico green chili and just a little bit of salt and lime. Oh, and for some freshness, of course, we added our cilantro. Can't forget that. And so that's our base recipe. That's this here. I'm just going to try a little bit. Wow, it's like a burst of flavor in my mouth and so spicy. Scale back on the serranos if you don't want it too spicy. I like it spicy. So I added 5, but you could scale it back and use 2, 3, whatever works for you. And then we went in and we added some avocado to the base recipe to make it a little creamier, just give it a different flavor. And this one, I'm going to try it. Oh, wow. The flavor difference is so huge. It's creamy, still has the freshness and the base flavor, but it's got that creaminess, and I really like that. And then we added some Greek yogurt. You could always add some sour cream to make sort of a crema, right? And as you can see, it's very creamy. The color has changed. It's so creamy and delicious. I hope you give these 3 salsas a try. This would make a really great like salsa bar, or if you wanted to really change up your taco night, give them a try. Definitely let us know down in the comments what you think and if you try these recipes out. I've had a lot of fun making these recipes with you today, so don't forget to like and share this video with somebody you think would like to learn a little bit more about New Mexican cooking. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.